guys, and welcome to a new video. Our video last week about the Osmo Mobile 1 and the new Osmo Mobile 2 went pretty good and is still working, but you guys were asking a lot about the Smooth Q and if we could do a comparison between the Osmo Mobile 2 and the Smooth Q. So the first thing we did was immediately get us a new Smooth Q for you guys. We read your comments, and this video is about a comparison between the new Smooth Q and the Osmo Mobile 2. There's gonna be 21 categories and there's gonna be a winner. I'm gonna give a point for each one, and right now I don't know who's gonna win because this is the intro and I still have not filmed anything. So let's go inside. Well guys, welcome. This is Alex Asmacher. I'm gonna put the Osmo Mobile 1 away for this video, and well, this is not an unboxing video, but I'm just gonna open this, and I believe you're pretty lucky that I am not here doing an unboxing in detail because my hands are not the prettiest and I would need a pedicure session. But well, let's unbox this. That feeling and that smell. Well, I never used a Smooth Q before, and I really hope it does come with some battery. Oh, this is pretty nice. Oh, looks like a mini guitar. Or I'm just gonna put this away. If you ever want a in-depth review of the Smooth Q, you can tell us, and we gladly will do that, but not today. Well, this actually is gonna work as a first impression. Well, actually the same tool, the same gadget, but it really feels different. So, well, as I told you before, there are 21 categories and I will give a point for each one of these categories. Of course, there are some that are going to be very personal, but you know, this is our personal opinion, and for example, how this feels in my hand will be my opinion, of course, and someone else will have another opinion. Just as a small reminder, before starting with this test, the Smooth Q was released almost a year ago. I believe it was in March, if I'm not mistaken, March 2017. And DJI seems to have put a lot of effort for converting this amazing thing, which I'm in love with, for the Osmo Mobile 2 in order to get a price reduction and some of the best features of the Smooth Q. They have put effort, as I'm saying, to get them into the Osmo Mobile 2. So let's see the test now. Well, first of all, let's talk about the price. And I'm going to talk about official prices and not some prices that you'll find with discount somewhere else in China. I don't know. Official website. The Smooth Q costs right now $125. It's supposed to be reduced from 15 bucks, sorry. But right now you can buy it for $125 officially. And officially the Osmo Mobile 2 will costs $129. So, well, it's $4, you know, you can buy a lot of stuff with $4. For example, Bitcoin. No, this point is clearly for the Smooth Q. Second point, and also very interesting, is the weight of both. Even though they look very similar, and right now I'm seeing that the mechanisms are exactly the same. The Smooth Q does weigh 440 grams if I'm not mistaken. And the Osmo Mobile 2 does weigh 485 grams. Well, I can feel it, 30-40 grams difference. Yeah, you can feel that. So that's clearly another point for the Smooth Q. Now let's talk about charging time. Officially, Smooth Q says that it will take you 2.5 hours for a fully charge, and the Osmo Mobile does only need 2 hours. So that is clearly a point for the Osmo Mobile 2. Another very important point is the battery capacity and how long it lasts. The Smooth Q lasts up to 12 hours. And the DJI Osmo Mobile 2 up to 15 hours, even though we know the real numbers are not even close. But anyways, bigger capacity, bigger lasting, longer lasting, point for Osmo Mobile 2. Now, one of the most interesting points on the new Osmo Mobile 2, according to DJI, and of course comparing it to the Osmo Mobile 1, was that it has that you can use it as a power bank for charging your phone even when using the Osmo. And for me, it was important to see the output, this energy output that it had for your phone. And well, both have exactly the same output, which is about 5 volts and 1.5 amps. So that clearly is a tie, and allow me again, I'm not an engineer, and you know, milliamps, amps, you know. Well, now we get into some complicated areas, which I believe it shouldn't be complicated, but it is for DJI apparently, and it's the maximum payload that you can hold with your Osmo Mobile. The Smooth Q is able to hold up to 220 grams officially. Well, the Osmo Mobile 2, we don't have any info, and all I have seen is reviews from people, and they say it is also capable of somewhere around 200 grams, but as I don't know it, this is clearly a point for the Smooth Q. And still being on those complicated parts, the Smooth Q, officially Zhiyun says that is able to hold up a phone up to 6-inch screen. Well, this would allow you, for example, to hold the new Pixel XL 2, but you would have lots of problems when taking the Note 8. On the other hand, again, we don't have official information of the Osmo Mobile 2, but I have seen videos of people filming with the Note 8, with the Pixel 2. The Note 8, by the way, is 6.3 inch, and it does seem to be working okay. So DJI only gives us here the official millimeters, and they say it's 58.6 up to 84.8 millimeters wide and up to 8.4 millimeters thick is the size of the phone that it could be holding. And the Note 8, which is among the biggest, is still inside those sizes. So I believe this point goes out to the Osmo Mobile 2. Now, one thing very important, not for us, but for many people, is the color design that you can choose when buying. And we have to say that the Smooth Q has 4 different colors, which are listed up down here. And the Osmo Mobile 2 right now comes only in this silver gray. So this is another point for the Smooth Q. Portrait mode, something also new on the Osmo Mobile 2 that the One did not have. And it's about rotating this part here in order to take vertical footage. And both have this, so it's also a tie here. Now I will give you my opinion on a couple of points that I believe are interesting and important. And first of all, I wanted to give you my honest opinion on how it lies on your hand and how actually the grip is different on both. And it truly is different, even though it looks pretty similar. I will give a point here for DJI Osmo Mobile in terms of on-hand feeling. And I believe, maybe you can see it here, that the grip is a little bit better developed than on the Smooth Q. The Smooth Q, actually, you don't really know where exactly you have to hold it because it doesn't have the form and the shape of your hand. Where the Osmo Mobile has a better grip, and you can actually know always where to put your hand, and it actually does feel even safer inside your hand. I feel safer when running with this than when running with this. The buttons are on the Osmo Mobile 2 clearly simpler than on the Osmo Mobile 1. And Smooth Q didn't put a lot of effort into developing awesome buttons, and the zoom button does not seem very good, let's say. The buttons overall look a little bit easygoing. And the Osmo Mobile 2, where you can see that actually the buttons are, as I'm saying, simpler than on the Osmo Mobile 1. I still have a better feeling on the Osmo Mobile than on the Smooth Q. Actually, I believe if I fall running or whatever, I'm a little bit more scared that the buttons on the Smooth Q could get harmed, and not as much as on the Osmo Mobile 2. And now comes the point that actually makes me a little bit angry and sad at the same time, and for that I'm going to take again the Osmo Mobile 1. You can see this. Do you see this amazing Rosette here? Well, there were many people using this for different occasions and different reasons, but you don't know how important this was. The problem is that when taking this out, you're actually limiting the use of this gear to your hand. You cannot attach it into anything. You cannot hold a microphone there. You cannot do anything. And this is very sad because this was one of the greatest features on the Osmo Mobile 1. And even though I did never use it, I know there were people talking about the forums about great microphones, or even people when driving with their bicycles, they had another mount to put here in the Rosette, and you could, you know, this was safer. This was just safer. This is limiting to no audio, less stability, and you know, if I could take all the points away for this one, I would take them. This is a tie, but a tie to 0. Also, one point now was how you could actually attach this to a tripod or mini tripod or whatever, and both systems are actually exactly the same. And it's this little mount down there which you can, you know, any micro or mini tripod you can attach to them. So this is also a tie between these two. Again, the Osmo Mobile 1 has a completely different system, and I did like a little bit more the Osmo Mobile 1, but this is again a tie between these two. Let's now talk about the dimensions, and even though the numbers differ a little bit, I want you to take a look closely here, because actually when you put them side by side, even though you know the Osmo Mobile 2 looks a little bit bulkier or bigger, when putting them side by side, really they are almost the same. They are really almost the same. Maybe the whole gimbal part of the Osmo Mobile 2 seems to be a little bit bigger, and also the knobs are quite bigger. But overall, the whole thing, the whole system is pretty much the same. So even though you can see the different millimeters here, this is for me a tie, because it looks like if the same company would have been developing these two things. So clearly a tie. Well, another point that actually makes me go a little bit crazy and that I don't like about the new Osmo Mobile 2, and the Smooth Q is exactly the same, is the way you put your phone into that. I mean, the Osmo Mobile 1 was amazing because you had a knob and you could adjust that knob and it was quite easy. But here you have to, you know, like put this apart, and sometimes, seriously, sometimes it's quite complicated, and ow. And you will spend some time doing this, and it's not the most comfortable way. And the Osmo Mobile 2 has exactly the same system here. So I don't really like this, and I believe this is something that could be improved a lot in the future. This is clearly also a tie to nothing, because I believe this can be much better. This test is about tracking speed, and you know it's very important. And as you can clearly see, the Osmo Mobile 2 is way faster than the Smooth Q. The Smooth Q is just smoother, and this point goes out to the Osmo Mobile 2. This test is about tapping, and see if both can tap me at this distance, my face, in order not to draw the box just by tapping. So let's see. And as you can see, I believe the Smooth Q gave an error, probably too close. I don't know, the Osmo Mobile 2 got me. So this is a big and great point for the Osmo Mobile 2. So this test is a fast test about recovery to the initial position by clicking twice the button, the home button, and let's see they're in the same position, and let's see which one returns faster. Well, you could clearly see the Osmo Mobile 2 was faster on this one too, so this is a point close for the big boy here, DJI Osmo Mobile 2. For this test I wanted to see the rotation limits of both, so let's just go straight and test where they go and where they stop. The thing I can't understand is, why is this rotating like this when I'm moving the joystick? I want it to rotate like this. And I've been using it now and looking around the settings, and I don't seem to find it. Is it normal that it's like this, or can you change it? Please let me know in the comments, because I'm really not sure. Anyways, this is clearly a tie for rotation limits. Now let's talk about the zoom, because this is very curious too. On the Smooth Q, I can only go step by step into the zoom, as you can see, by steps, because if I press and maintain, this happens. it goes into photo mode. Why? I have no idea. Let's go back to video mode by holding it. And for going back, minimum position you reach. You can go only step by step, and for going back the same. Whereas the Osmo Mobile, if you go, there's a smooth zoom, which I like way more, and there's no strange thing like changing the photo and video mode when holding it. This is a normal zoom, even though you're not gonna use it probably, but anyways, this is another point for sure for this one. Well, I just wanted to highlight here that the Osmo Mobile 2 is way easier to use, and all these functions and zoom-ins and tracking worked much better on the Osmo Mobile 2, and I'm very disappointed right now at the Smooth Q for that. You have to think that most of the people that will be buying this will have no idea about technology and tracking and anything, so you have to make it as easy as possible, and the Osmo Mobile 2, I believe, is just easier for people that have no idea about using this. So overall, better test for the Osmo Mobile 2 for sure. Winner! Well guys, after watching the points that I told you in this video and having clearly a winner, which would be the Osmo Mobile 2, I would be careful when just saying this one is better than this one. I did myself the categories that I thought would be interesting, and in most of them the Osmo Mobile 2 wins. However, again, not all the categories are exactly or do have the same importance to you probably than some other categories. So I would be very careful again when saying that this one is better than this one. You have to remember that this technology is almost 1 year old, which nowadays seems like a lot, and we would be hoping to see a new Smooth Q soon and see what Zhiyun could offer us in a newer version. However, again, I'm telling you, some of the points may be more important to you than to me, and you know, even though the result is the one you saw, maybe you still want to go for the Smooth Q. However, again, for our categories, the winner is the Osmo Mobile 2. Well guys, nothing else to say. I hope you really liked this video. If you want us to test some different things on this too, let us know in the comments. Now that we do have the Smooth Q, we are very pleased to be testing whatever you want us to test. And again, as I'm telling you, we do this for you guys. If you tell us to do something, as you can see here, we go and do it. Nothing else to say. Remember always to keep calm and talk UAV.